y'all know the place to be, man. Good music, good times is where the culture lives. And for the people who might be tuning in and seeing me on the other side of the table, do not adjust your set. It's me. It's actually me. I know, I do so many things around here, but it's all right? That's what I asked for. So, without any further delay, I got a duo of gentlemen in studio with me. They represent two of the hardest brands I have ever seen. Take a look at my drip right now. And it literally says drip, right? We're gonna introduce you guys to two brands. They're gonna be popping up in Brooklyn in about a few weeks. I don't wanna give anything away or give any wrong information yet, right? They're gonna be in Brooklyn. They're gonna be showing you some of the beautiful gear that they got. If you take a look at some of the images that you see behind me right now, that is all featured from both brands. We have 9 Culture, Third World Famous in here with me, and we got the two CEOs here. They're going to be doing a joint pop-up, like I said, in Brooklyn, because why not Brooklyn, right? Why not Brooklyn? So, without any further delay, I'm not going to talk too much more. I'm going to put them on camera, and we're going to sit and we're going to have a conversation, because, you know, here at GMGT, we don't do interviews. We do conversations. All right? So, let me take you guys on screen right here, right now. So, good afternoon, gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
Afternoon.
Blessings be 2025.
Yes.
Thank you, my brothers. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for taking the time out to be here with us this morning. I know it's not easy having to be a CEO of a small business and having to do the things that you need to do, especially when we don't have the big budget, but we have the big dreams and the big visions. So I would like to say thank you guys for just taking the time to come here and spend some time with me today.
Give thanks,
we have the both of you here, all right? So I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your brand.
All right, cool. So name's Daryl Sebro. I am the CEO and creator of 9 Culture. First and foremost, good afternoon, because I had a cab out of my manners. Good afternoon. Welcome to 2025. I want to also thank you, Kareem, for bringing us here. Really appreciate the opportunity.
You're welcome, my brother.
Yeah, coming from, DC, we definitely wanted to make sure that we made ourselves aware and come to the mecca of the fashion industry. So
nice.
Definitely excited. 9 Culture is an athleisure brand. We're about lifestyles, definitely building up the culture from the Caribbean diaspora. And yeah, just excited to be here.
So listen, I do not like to beg. I was given gifts by both of you guys. Right now I'm rocking something from Third World Famous, but later on, you guys, we have a second part of this conversation that we have some, some special things to show you guys that we're going to go into. But the gear I saw you guys walked in here with this morning is just absolutely next level. So
respect.
Appreciate that.
I want to say, keep doing what you're doing, because I gotta get me some gear. All right. So without delaying it any further, you have your business partner here with you. So let's switch over to him and tell us a little bit about who you are and the brand that you represent.
All right, Brooklyn. Respect, Brooklyn. GMGT, Third World Famous in the house. In the streets, they call me Brahma. I'm the co-founder of Third World Famous. We actually started as a Trini hip-hop group led by Kyle Pereira, a.k.a. Seth Gaines. Rest in peace to my brethren, the hottest rapper in Trini ever. And when we were shooting our music videos, we would create designs for the clothes to wear to promote, in the videos and stuff. And, I was in charge of that part. And I said, I feel like the designs we created, the Trinidad, the original Trinidad, that phrase was coined by Seth Gaines circa 2005.
Wow.
All right. And, we came out with the Trinidad designs and our Third World Famous logo designs. And then eventually I said, I feel like the clothes could stand on its own, separate from the music. And I really started to dive in from that part. So when you hear Third World Famous, what do you think? Well, think about a country from Jamaica to Colombia to Trinidad to Ghana, Ethiopia, Philippines. What do they have in common, right? A certain kind of liberty, right? Whether it's past colonial histories, the cuisine, the weather. Weather is important, right? When it's hot outside right through, then people liming outside, people congregating outside, that creates a particular kind of culture. So whether you're in a Muslim country like Iran, Iraq, or a Christian country like Ethiopia, Colombia, Brazil, that outside kind of vibe creates particular cultures that's definitely third world.
Okay, nice. So talk to me about you gave me a little bit of the origin story, but you did not. So can you give me a little something about the origin of the brand and how it came about?
Yeah, for sure. So long story short, initially we started in Brooklyn. Before it was QG and it was a couple of our founders. Unfortunately, we lost one of our founders right before the pandemic, and that kind of put me had to take a step back, get my mind right, and just kind of thinking about where I could really make an impact, given like the creative talents that I was given, and how can I give back to the community, and kind of came up with this idea of what is it really that we get inspired by. And what I went back to was culture, because growing up, like even my uncle used to play steel pan for FEB23 back in Trinidad and Tobago. My cousins used to always draw. My mom used to be a seamstress. So I just started thinking about things that really inspired me, and I went back to culture. And doing some more research, I was thinking like, so what is that word that I could tie with the word culture? And coming to think of, the number 9, which is the strongest number you could think of. And even going back, if you go into philosophical stuff and, 9 months, 9 days, there's a lot of things related to the number 9. And I was like, that's interesting. So kind of combining the two with what inspires you the most, culture, 9 culture became a part of it. So that's kind of like where the name came from. And just in terms of, what our designs are made of, is just the idea of really highlighting moments in time throughout the Caribbean. So whether it is like the great race that we know in Trinidad and Tobago, to like the athletes that we have. So Granny Lou says was a huge impact in us growing up back in the days, and we don't think those sort of superstars aren't really given that opportunity to shine. So I thought, why not use that opportunity to really tell those stories? So even like we do have the Dwight Yorks of the world, we still have those unsung heroes that I think their stories should be told through our fashion.
Were you guys friends before this?
Yeah, actually, it's a funny story, because even when he mentioned Kyle, like we grew up, I think I knew Kyle when I was probably 9, 10. Back home, he was actually the first person to introduce me to like having like cable TVs, and like having certain snacks and stuff. We used to always hang out there and just chill out. And I think with him, even Russell and stuff, that used to like inspire us with like different things that they brought from the States. So they used to travel a lot. That like in terms of music, fashion, sneakers, those were kind of the memories that we have. And I think like I just kind of met Jerome through them. So ever since then, we stayed in connection. We have pretty much like-minded in terms of where we could see ourselves, and like really building that sort of like communication and that collaboration throughout our community, and really kind of like trying to lift everyone, and not trying to like, everybody kind of sometimes just be, to themselves, want to develop themselves. But at the end of the day, if it is you have that community and like-minded individuals, you could be successful together. So
this is really interesting to me, because you guys have 2 separate brands, right? 2 separate ownerships. It's not like it's an entity that's like together, but you still figured out a way to do it together, which is something I don't see often in the space of anything, especially in our communities. So I know there has to be some challenges navigating that, because I don't really know if there is like a blueprint in front of you guys. Like there's nobody else to look in and say, oh, that's how they did it.
I think that's the motivation for having the culture shop, right? Which is the event we're bringing to Brooklyn at Savannah Spice. That would be February 23rd, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m.
12 to 6 p.m. Nice.
And the thinking is that when you see a problem in a space, can you bring the solution? So part of the problem in our community, as you mentioned, is that the lack of collaboration, right? People are doing their own thing off in their own silos and their own corners. And, we come from a community of competition, but the truth is collaboration over competition, right? You look at the Caribbean community, carnival culture is one of our most in the forefront elements, and the entire thing is based on competition. Right? Road March, Soca Monarch, Calypso Monarch, King and Queen of the Band, extempo competition, so on and so on. And that's cool. And you think that brings one element of the culture forward, but collaboration, because when you collaborate, now you bring in something that you might have to offer together with something another person has to offer, and the overall product of soca and carnival rises, right? So that idea of a rising tide lifts all ships. But if we're doing the competition thing, then both of him and I reside in DC. He's a Trini, I's a Trini. He have a brand, I have a brand, and we now working together. That's dumb, right? So if people don't even think of the Caribbean community as having established clothing brands, then just him and I working together helps to make people believe that, oh, this could be a thing. So if I'm just successful over in my corner and he's not, that's not helping me either. But if he's successful and I'm successful, we're helping each other.
I like that. And you know, it's funny that you spoke about the competition part of it. And you know, there's this saying that, you know, iron sharpens iron, right? And this is what brings out the best in people and stuff. And to a degree, it is true. But I think in competition, you always end up with collateral, right? There's somebody, either their feelings are hurt or the person who's trying to win is going through to an extra level versus I'm pulling you, you're pushing me, you're pushing me, I'm pulling you. I think you can get the same results through those things, right? Without necessarily having the collateral that we usually get through competition. Because if you look at some of like the greatest soca monarchs, like some of these artists actually hated each other when they were going through those things, right? And can we make a point and say maybe if it was a little bit different, probably them together would probably have pushed something further, faster versus, right?
A better product.
So who knows, you know, but it's very, very interesting that you brought that up, and I've never thought about it that way. So take me back to the pop-up, February 23rd.
Sunday, February 23rd.
And it's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
Right here in Brooklyn.
Right here in Brooklyn. It's going to be basically that weekend before that week of Carnival.
Okay.
So, you know, the last 15 to 20 days, every day you're losing people who going back home, right? So this is a last chance opportunity to come and shop for some culturally relevant designs that you could then go rock in the fets back home.
All right. Now let me just give you guys a plug here real quick. The stuff that I've seen so far, amazing. Like,
appreciate it.
Yeah, amazing. I like the drip. The drip is great. Loving what I see. So kudos to you both.
Bless
I see that you both have different design languages, but it's still culturally relevant to me. Like as a West Indian person who is off the culture and wants to preserve the culture, believes in the culture. I absolutely like what I see. So what can people expect at the pop-up?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the pop-up, we do have some new things coming out. I mean, it'll be new to the general audience that's coming here, but definitely going to be seeing some inspired, you know, athletic brand that is notified by people that you could recognize. I think everybody from Trinidad and Tobago and the world might know Dwight York.
Right.
That's a huge inspiration for me growing up. We are going to have some stuff designed by him. The Great Race, everybody knows Great Race growing up as well in Trinidad and Tobago. We have some things that are designed through that collection, as well as some other surprises that I want to kind of bring in, but just some interesting pieces that I think is going to be part of our Legends collection, which is us that are really honing in on those athletic individuals and highlighting their stories.
So I know you guys collaborate in terms from the business perspective, but can we expect like a collaborative design?
Yeah, that's something that we're working on. That's something that we're working on.
I would love to see that.
We're taking our time. So if it doesn't happen by February 23rd, you know, hold tight with us.
No rush.
Because you know.
Yeah, I would love to see what both of you together could put out. Somebody's looking to buy the gear right now. Where can they expect to find it?
Well, for Third World Famous, you could go to thirdworldfamous.com. That's the number 3RD worldfamous.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be nineculture.com. So NINECULTURE.com.
Okay. Say that again one more time.
NINECULTURE.com.
So fully spelled out.
Yep, fully
Say
spelled
yours one more time.
thirdworldfamous.com. That's the number 3, the numeral 3, RD, worldfamous.com.
All right. So talk to me about how the collection works. Like, what can we find? T-shirts, hats, hoodies.
So like with at least with the collections for Legends collections that we're going to be coming out with, we're going to have t-shirts, hoodies. We do have some things that we're also working on in terms of having actual shirts. So
Right.
like button-up shirts, similar to like a shirt jack sort of vibe. We have dresses that we're working on. That's something
Dresses
that's
for the ladies.
yeah, definitely want to have some for you ladies as well. So yeah, we have a couple different things that are going to be happening. So a lot of things that you could kind of mix and match with that I think works. And it's not gonna. I think what I like about our brand is it's not the typical sort of print
Right.
T-shirts that you would always see all over the place.
Right.
It's something that has a little bit more depth to it.
It definitely has that. Yes.
Yeah, so
definitely
I think
has
that's
that.
what we love about our brand is that we really kind of try to tell our stories in the right way,
Right.
and how it should be told. So.
So let me ask a question. Like, both of you, how, like this T-shirt, right? How would you conceptualize something like that? What is the thought process behind like building out a piece?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm inspired, Kareem. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I'm a history buff.
Okay,
I'm a
nice.
teacher by trade.
Oh, nice.
Right. So I
Nice.
like to read a lot. You know, I studied Caribbean studies at Howard University. Big up Howard.
Bap, bap, bap.
You know what I mean? So that is just innately in me.
Right.
So it's a lot easier to tell your story when you're telling it from a genuine place.
I don't get teacher from you. I just needed to put that in.
I'll take that. That's all right. That's all right. We're multifaceted.
He's a
Right?
cool teacher. He's a cool teacher.
Listen. One time, right? I'm speaking to this girl, and we became friends. And she's like, "Yo, from your social media, I always thought DJing is what you did full time." Yeah, she's like, "I never knew like you were a business banker. You know, that time I worked at the bank and all this." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, people sometimes see people's social media, or they just see people in public, and they assume that is who they are.
Yeah.
But people have layers. People have different, you know, especially in this new age. Like you have to have like 5 side hustles to make it, right?
Well,
So,
well, the irony, Kareem, is that, you know, my mantra is educate and entertain. So
hold up. Pause. I know I'm interrupting a lot. But this is something that we see here all the time. Yeah, we even have a word for it. We call it edutainment.
Edutainment, yeah, facts.
So we like, you don't just come to listen to the music, but when you come here, you expect to get a little depth. All right,
Learn something,
You know,
yeah.
this person is who, you know, this is a person that produced. We always try to add a little extra layer to like, all right, we have a brand new rhythm, but okay, who wrote? Who's the writer on there? Right? To give people a little bit more understanding. So we use that all the time. So I feel like I'm in good company now. Let's
man.
go.
So, you know, it's a way that I'm able to incorporate my skill set as an educator into my brand, right?
Okay, nice.
And so that makes it a lot easier. And then, you know, if I'm inspired by something, then, you know, I go for it. That particular design you wear in the standpipe drip, you
Hold
know,
on. Let me put it. Let me put it on. Ooh.
you know, the drip.
Drip.
The drip is what the young people call the
yeah.
fashion, the hot clothes and everything, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, what would be the third world version of that?
Yeah.
Standpipe, right? So like those countries I mentioned, you could go from Panama to Ivory Coast to Iraq
To Grenada.
to Grenada, big up Grenada, big up the Greens, right?
Yeah.
And we
Standpipe.
all grew up with the standpipe.
Hell
So
yeah.
this kind of drip is a standpipe drip, you know? So sometimes it's just trying to connect the cultural dots, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes what I try to do is, if I can make a design that is aesthetically pleasing and the education is there, I might hook you on how it looks.
Right.
And then I'm hoping that you then go do the research and work on your own.
Okay.
So the hook is, it still have to look dope. People still have to want to wear it.
Right.
So that's the design aspect. And then the other layer is the education.
Gotcha. Talk to me about this now. How does that work for you? Your creative process.
I'm completely different. I'm definitely not a teacher. Some people might say I am, but I don't consider myself a teacher. I'm a creative director.
Okay.
So yeah, for me, my background comes with design. So I went to school. I went to John D for a little while to do like just page layout. Did a couple work with Republic Bank, doing like newspaper layouts and stuff like that. Did marketing campaigns for Apple iMac way back when it was the eggshell.
Right.
So
That's the one with the colors, right?
Yep, with all the colors. Yeah. So for me, when I get inspired, it's more about the design aspect of it. So I'm heavy into typography, heavy into illustration. So that's, I think, where you see any difference in the designs.
Distinct. It's very distinct.
So for me, when I get inspired, it's like I think about the story, but then how can I tell it in a visual way? So I really dive deep into like, okay, what would the colors look like? What would the different shapes be like? Is there a specific thing or animal that I might want to kind of gravitate towards and illustrate? So that's where you would see my inspirations kind of coming into play.
This fascinates me in terms of like you with the official education in that type and how you go about conceptualizing what you put out there, right? And yet it's still able to speak to somebody like me who really don't understand anything about that, but just see something that is striking a chord in terms of like what I think looks good and feels good, right? And same for you, right? Different source of inspiration, but this t-shirt, I put it on and immediately I felt a way, like, you know, I felt a little bit, yeah. So, you know, what is it about fashion? And both of you can answer this question. You think it's so connective to people because sometimes I don't get it, right? But put me in a nice button up and I feel like I can just step out there and take anything on.
So I'll take this one. As I always say, what you're wearing on the outside is how you feel on the inside. Oh. Right? So when you see summertime and a man come out in a full black kit, head to toe, something going on with him. he telling you something with black Air Force Ones. Yeah. All right?
Something going on
Something going on with you. Everybody else wearing white, everybody wearing pastel colors like he in full black. Yeah. That is something going on inside of him. That's how he feeling and he representing it that way, right? Right. And so, you know, we all wear clothes, right? And so it's really a self-expression. Right? And it's the confidence inside that is make clothes even fit you better. When you're standing up a certain way, when a woman standing up in a certain way, she wear the dress, she pose on her leg. A man standing up in his kicks and his pants and even how he just leaning or whatever, that's a confidence, you know. That's how he feeling or she feeling in the moment. So that's how I always said. How you feeling inside is how it is dressed on the outside. Some days you feeling to wear them pastel colors, some days you're in all black with the hoodie up. Right, is a feeling. Yeah,
it's an extension of yourself. Yeah, it's your personality. I think that's where a lot of people too, they think like they have to wear the name brand to have that facade and be like, oh, I'm cool. Right. It's not about that. I think for us, especially we was talking about it when we was driving on here this morning, the concept of having to not spend that kind of money to still look and carry out yourself in a specific way.
So I now understand that. I wish I had understood it when I was 20. But I understand it right now. I am a big, like, I have a lot of GMGT branded stuff. We have a you know, our online stuff. And I rock my brand all the time. All the time. And I don't feel any way but really proud of what I've done. And it doesn't make a difference. The other thing too that I understand about retail and what a lot of people don't know is that the Gucci and the stuff that you're buying typically sometimes get made in the same factories like some of the other with the same stuff. You're just paying for that extra marketing, right? You're just paying for that extra marketing. I used to work in a shoe store, and when we went to the sellers and we did like the wholesale stuff, some of the stuff we selling for $70, we were buying for $5.
Yeah,
right? $5, $10. You're talking like Nine West and all these other brands like that. What Naturalize on all these brands. Literally, we're getting it for $10 and $5. And I think a lot of people are mad at people such like us who has the audacity to say we can do the same thing and we want to charge just as much margin because we understand that we're giving you the same quality.
Yeah.
And people that perceive the idea of that it's modes, that means it's better.
Right. Well, you also have to train your customer to be the kind of customer that you want.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is in how you tell your brand story.
Right.
And you educate them and you show them the value that you're giving, right? But I do want to go back to one thing you said earlier because it made me think of Russell Simmons, right? You know, he was the founder of Fat Farm.
Yeah.
And, you know, he would be at all these like black tie affairs and everybody's in a tux and whatever.
Yeah.
And Russell would be in like a button-on shirt, maybe
Yeah.
a cardigan
Yeah.
over. It will
It was
all be
heavy
Fat
on the
Farm,
cardigan.
right?
Yeah.
So people would say, yo, Russell, why you not wearing a tuxedo? And he said, because Fat Farm don't make tuxedos. So I'm wearing the best of what Fat Farm has no matter what. And that is the mindset that we have to be in. I mean, I don't go anywhere if I'm not in Third World Famous because I just feel I'm going to meet a new person and I'm going to say I'm a clothing designer. And the first thing I'm going to do is look at my clothes and I'm not wearing it. So once you put it on, there's always at least one person wearing it somewhere in the world and it's you.
Yeah.
So you have to be your own billboard.
I love it. I love it. What do you guys see for the trajectory for both brands? Like what do you have in mind?
I have big dreams in terms of Nine Culture.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too is, and maybe the bigger brands are doing this, but there's a sort of concept that when people see like, oh, you know, you selling clothes, so it's just for profit, right?
Right.
But for me, for Nine Culture, I'm trying to do something beyond Nine Culture. So even me and Jerome, we started when we started Culture Shop, it's not just for us.
Right.
Like we introduced other brands to come
nice.
in and take part and really be with the community, because the idea is not just about us. We want the brand to continue and live on, but we also want to be able to spread that love and make sure that other people know that it's beyond us. Like my dream would be to have a Caribbean store where we have multiple brands.
Right.
Like having fashion shows where we are seeing people that we could relate to and say, yeah, I remember that standpipe shirt, or like, I remember this shirt.
Yeah.
So like that's the kind of vibe that I want. And even like certain aspects that I'm trying to deal with now, trying to deal with the youth and see how we could bring in and think about, okay, how can we build towards the next generation?
Right.
How can we kind of develop something that would be beneficial for them as well? So to me, it's just about trying to create our legacy,
Right.
to make that impact.
So the fashion world, can I use this word and say it's a little bit oversaturated, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of brands, there's a lot of, I can't, like, right now I work in business development, right? I used to work in business banking, and now I'm in business development. The number of people I see probably on a monthly basis who wants to start a fashion brand and probably don't understand the work it takes, because even GMGT with our little shop, right? It's
Nothing little.
right.
Little by a Talawa.
Talawa. It's sometimes it's time consuming, especially when you have to upgrade designs, you know, colors, you're looking for fabrics, you're looking for all these things. And I think you guys are a little bit more bespoke than what we do, because I do drop shipping, right? On demand, right? I can tell you guys are a little bit more.
Well, I think the difference is you're creating merchandise,
Right.
Right. So GMGT is the main brand,
Right.
And the clothing and other things are accessories,
Right.
So that can work for you and make sense,
Right.
Whereas we're creating clothing brands where that is the main focus,
Right.
And so when you do drop shipping, you don't get to see your product before it goes out, right? But if you're pushing, you say this is where the culture lives, right?
Yeah.
So this is what you're pushing here, and your merchandise is an extension of you
that,
out
right.
there, right? So you don't have to put the same focus that we would have to as this being the primary.
Thank you for making that make sense for me, because I was it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's working for you for what you're trying to achieve, and that makes sense.
So talk to me about that process of conceptualization to out the door.
Okay, so I would say personally, my biggest challenge has always been manufacturing, right?
Okay.
So I said to myself, when I first started, I know I'm at a certain quality and therefore I'm charging this price.
Right.
Right. Now, if you started with me on day one, you might have known me to be here at this price.
Yeah.
And now I'm 10 years in.
Right.
And okay, I'm not at that price anymore because my quality has gone up.
Right.
And the idea is to always keep improving on the quality, right?
Yesterday's price is not
It's not today's price, you know? So, you know, I would always say to Cbro, like, yo, run up the quality, right? Run up the packaging, make it even better and doper, because the truth is then you could actually charge more.
Right.
Right. And I think one of the things that I've learned is after years and making mistakes is taking your time and slowing things down. Right. So you kind of feel like, oh man, the people who know me have already seen this design and they're going to be bored of that. But the truth is the other 8 billion people in the world have not seen it.
Right.
So what does that tell you? Your design is dope, but you got to work on marketing.
Right.
Right? Some brands come out and they have a collection of 3 pieces. 3 things that are connected, but maybe sewn differently. And they sell that out, and guess what? That's done. Nothing on the website until we create again. And so learning that and slowing things down and refocusing on marketing on the things that I already have that I know is dope, putting them in the right collections and so on is where I'm at with it. But yeah, it's difficult. And again, this comes back to the part where we're talking about why we're having the culture shop. Is, you know, why we work together is because we want to share information. We share. When I have an opportunity to bring him in as a vendor, I do it. When he helps me, he will do graphic designs. You know, we work together. We share resources. We share the manufacturers. You'll see guys who have clothing brands and they'll go on YouTube and give you all this advice and then don't tell you which manufacturer they're using.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but if you tell me you can help me skip a step.
People only want to see you doing good once it's not
better than them, right? And so, you know, thankfully as mature men here, we're able to see past that and know that we could both be successful and help each other. And so that is an asset, but yes, it's tough to go from design to final product out the door, and you're always tweaking.
Right.
You're always tweaking.
Okay, it's a constant.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd say from my point of view, especially with like the more bespoke, like the cricket jersey that you saw, the football jersey that's there, that is like from sketch to research to types of fabrics to taking stuff that you already own and see, well, okay, I like this sort of cable knit, so what different can I do with this? And then doing your research, going back and say, okay, so what is the level that you could kind of like conform and like what you can make your shapes with, and then finding the right vendors, because definitely have a lot of nightmares where invest a lot into a vendor and wake up the next day and vendor's gone. Yeah, so that stuff happens, but is trying to stay focused, knowing what your goal is, and then same thing, collaborating with people that have that knowledge before and could tell you like, yo, check this, or did you do this research? So I think that's the most important part, like finding those individuals that can help you and be honest and being like authentic and being truthful to what you're trying to do, and not looking back and saying, well, nah, I don't want this person to win, or, you know, I don't want them to be successful. So yeah, I think it's definitely if you want to get into the retail industry, it's not an easy.
I know that.
And I would say, you know, with the advantage of direct to consumer now, like having your own website, social media where you can promote and stuff, do all of the homework. You can do so much of the homework before you even launch, and even your social media, that preemptive sort of anticipation for it coming out. You could be talking and like showing the, hey, this is my sketch. I'm going through this. Oh, I found a manufacturer. And by the time you're ready to launch 4 months, 5 months later, you have a bunch of people who are ready to buy, and you can even make pre-orders, which your money is already collected, and your collection could be sold out on day one.
So let me give you a little bit of my experience as, I guess, a business owner, right? Minority, right? All the boxes we check, right? And sometimes I find the place I get the least support from is the people I want the most support from.
That's a conversation right there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can tell you the people that have rode with me for GMGT has not been anybody that I started the journey with. Hasn't been anybody that has known me before.
Right.
the people that are supporting me the hardest and rooting for me the hardest is nobody I knew before I started, right? It might have a few. And when I say like literally a few, and that has been one of the hardest pills to swallow for me. How have you guys dealt with that adversity?
Please
And
let me take this one.
have you had that that adversity?
Absolutely. That hit me in my soul when you say that, Kareem. Let me tell you something. And it's funny because once you get over the emotional aspect, you realize realistically how you're feeling made no sense. Can Nike be a successful company if only Phil Knight's family and friends buy Nike sneakers or products? Absolutely not.
No.
But, we are humans and we want our family and friends, our network to be proud of us, right? So you think your best friends and your network are going to be the first ones to buy. But the truth is, strangers are the ones who are going to keep you in business. And then those strangers become family because they buy into the brand. But I mean, exactly what you said, I felt that and I still have friends who've never bought, but it doesn't bother me anymore.
It don't bother me anymore either.
But I had that same initial feeling. But, you work through that. And, as you keep pushing forward, you realize that you were being unreasonable to yourself.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I did have a lot of people that supported me that are close friends. I mean, obviously there are others that I was like, I thought, at least from the startup, there would have been a little bit more support. But I think at the end of the day is a level of like expectation where it is almost like I had to take a step back and be like, am I being too selfish?
Right.
That I have expectations that you have to support me. So I had to be a little bit more level-headed and more realistic to the fact like, okay, I have a brand and I know where I want it to go.
Right.
I need to keep pushing. Regardless of the feedback or if I didn't expect this, I am the only person that can make this successful. So I had to be the one to show that I am willing to push and to put in the work, put in the hours to make it successful.
Can I add on to that? Like, we shouldn't feel so entitled to anybody's money, even if it's our friends or family, right?
Right.
People are voting on our products based on if they buy or not.
Right.
So we're in a competition for the dollar, and we have competitors, other clothing brand, not even just clothing, but other things people have to spend their money on.
Right.
So when they choose to buy Nine Culture or Third World Famous, that's a select choice that I'm buying this now over maybe something I might want or even need, but I'm choosing to buy. So we can't feel that entitled, but it is a growing pain in the business that you just kind of have to go through.
Yeah, I definitely got over it, right? And I think I have more clarity in terms of what you just said in saying that people, have other places and other things, and especially now with the way the economy is going, and people are really, really stretching. So let me ask about the support that may not show up as dollars, right? But might show up as a share, a post, or may show up as just showing up to an event to say, hey, I really can't afford to, but I'm here to show my face. Maybe I'll buy a drink at your bar or something if you're doing like a pop-up or whatever. How has that been for you guys?
I would say, okay, the folks who are buying into the message of the brand, they're the ones you don't have to ask anything. They like, they share, they post, they comment, they repost, they tag, they send it to somebody else, they show up to the event. They show up to one event, they buy something, then they come to the next event wearing the clothes from the thing they bought the last time, right? Those are your people who rocking with you, you know what I mean? But there's levels. If somebody just likes, I'm cool.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody likes and shares, I'm cool. Share, comment, report. Like, I'm good with all of it, But I also feel to that previous part of the conversation, like, we still have to earn this from people.
Exactly.
Nobody owes me the like. Nobody owes Nine Culture the like, right? We still have to inspire them to want to like, So if they're not already in that mind frame, then we have to teach them how to be part of the Nine Culture and Third World Famous family, how to be the kind of supporter we want or need, how to be the kind of customer that we want or need.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do to just unwind, changing gears a little bit? Like, I know you're a teacher, you're a creative director by profession, and then you guys are running full businesses. where's the time to like just wind down? What do you guys do?
You want to take that one?
I mean, for me,
Yeah.
travel.
Travel. Oh, you like
my
to
wife
travel.
loves to travel, and I appreciate that because that just opens,
Yeah.
more ideas, more
Nice.
culture. And as a creative, unfortunately, I never stop thinking about ideas.
Always
What's
on.
the next move? How
Always
can I
on.
improve on this? There's always it's
Yeah.
nonstop, but
Yeah.
there's times where it's like we go places where there's no service, and
Yeah.
it's like I gotta be like, all right, let me just sit back and enjoy the scenery and take a step back and just be thankful.
So I used to consider myself a businessman, right? Now I just consider myself a creative. Business is just something that I have to do to continue my creativity, right? And for 2025, I said, you know what? I'm going to try to practice a lot of more mindfulness. Like I want to wake up in the morning and, do some, meditating and stuff. And first couple of mornings trying it, man, when you try to like tune out, you realize how noisy in here is.
Yeah.
It's like a million thoughts is just running in there, and I've never I didn't even know where that came from. I'm like, wow, that's what inside my head sounds like, because now I'm like, all right, mindfulness, let me just relax, let me just breathe, and then the thoughts just start raining in like, all right, how could I do this? How, I have the day ahead of me. How do I make that better? So that always on thing, it's tough. I could just imagine.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
So, for clarity, I was a teacher in the classroom for 12 years, but the last 6 years, I'm a tutor.
Oh, you're a tutor.
So I'm able to schedule.
Educator.
Yeah, still educator, but I'm able to schedule
Your time around.
my time, and I'm online, so I never leave my living room.
Oh, nice.
So, that's convenient and that's good. And, for me, it's...
So you knew the pandemic was coming.
Well, what's the funny thing? I started tutoring right before the pandemic.
Yeah, I did the math. I'm like, that was like 2019,
Yeah.
2018.
Everybody was now looking for tutors, so,
right on.
it kind of, right on the money. It kind of worked out in my favor in that sense. For me, I just take a break, like summertime when the kids went on summer break. I called my parents and was like, 3 weeks I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're not doing that, and I just take my mental breaks. I haven't been traveling as much as Cibro has been recently.
Yeah.
But I like to read on my off time.
Okay, nice.
Right, that's part of my wind down. I love music, so I'm always listening to music, and it's just taking a break from the routine or schedule that I normally do. So that could be anything from that point,
Okay, nice. Any last thoughts? Any things we're gonna go over to? We have a nice little display set up, so we're gonna walk through some of the stuff that you guys have brought, and we're gonna talk a little bit about it. So, but before we go to that part of the segment, do you guys have any last thoughts, any last words you want to leave people with?
Well, I want to say make sure you come to the Culture Shop.
Date
Sunday,
and time again?
February 23rd,
Yes,
12
sir.
p.m. to 6 p.m. It
Yes,
will be
sir.
brunch at Savannah Spiced.
Right.
So, come and drink a little some, eat a little some, shop with us, whole a vibe. Yeah.
Trip and eat.
Drip and eat. There you go.
Yeah. Anything from you? Any last words?
No, just excited. Looking forward to it. It will be a vibe because GMGT will be there as well.
We'll be in the building.
The music will be there. Food will be there. I think the space is dope. It totally aligns with our vibe and the culture.
I've been there multiple times, so
so
definitely a dope space.
It's definitely going to be a time, so make sure you can make it. And especially, timing wise, I know people will be getting tickets late to go back home. So if you want something that will stand out in the crowd and looking good for both Vail vibe as opposed to if you're on the road, check us out because we have everything there. So.
Black owned, Caribbean owned.
Yep. All right, guys, there you had it. We have 9 Culture and Third World Famous in the building. Definitely talking about that pop-up going down February 23rd. That's a Sunday from 12 to 6 p.m. at Savannah. We're going to be there in the building. That's GMGT providing some of the entertainment. I think that is going to be a streamed event also. So for the people who can't necessarily make it there, we're working on some things that you can shop the look. So whatever looks you see and you like, you should be able to shop it. We're working on that for you guys. Hopefully we can deliver. So we have some good things in store for you guys. But We prefer if you guys show up, but if you can't, definitely go online, shop the look, get something. I am looking at the stuff here right now live, and let me tell you, I don't think the video is doing it any justice. So, good music, good times is where the culture lives. We have Third World Famous and Nine Culture in the building.
Bless
we'll
up.
be right back.
Big up.
All nice and decent people, loving it to the maximum. Original rude boy style, original bad boy style.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back. We're back.
Sound funny, but the
And let me tell you,
like it,
y'all see what I'm rocking, right? Y'all see what I'm rocking. So I went from Third World Famous. Now I'm in Nine Culture. And let me tell you, each time I was sharp as hell. So as we return for this segment, I'm gonna take you guys stage side so we can show you some of what you can expect at that exclusive pop-up. It's going down February 23rd. That's a Sunday inside Savannah. It's happening from 12 to 6. Both Nine Culture and Third World Famous, they will be in the building, and they will be having stuff on sale. You can have some food, some drinks, and you get to look good at the same time. So, without any further delays, let me take you guys stateside. Yes. So, this is the segment that we've been waiting for. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you two black-owned fashion labels. And I say fashion labels because that's exactly what they are. We have Third World Famous and we have Nine Culture in the building. And we're taking a look at some of the pieces that they have. We have here, it's the Dwight York, right?
Yep, we call that the Smiling Assassin soccer jersey.
Smiling
Assassin.
Yeah, I can see
Yep.
rocking one of those.
Yeah, man.
And this one here we have.
That's a tribute to the greatest cricket batsman of all time, Mr. Sir Brian Lara.
Brian Lara.
Yes, sir.
And I like this because the what do you call this?
Call it like a cable knit.
Cable knit.
Yeah, it's a cable knit.
This
So
this is nice.
Yeah, so it's
This
a
is
play
nice.
of like back in the day they used to wear these cable knit vests and stuff when they used to go on bat.
Yeah.
So I figured like making a nice little shoot to kind of tie a team. and then,
Even
yeah.
this here, man.
Yep.
Even the little details here.
Mhm.
So something like that. How much hours? How many hours goes into creating something like this?
So with our manufacturers, a couple of manufacturers that we have this done. So
Yeah.
there's one manufacturer did the cable knit,
Uh-huh.
another manufacturer did the felt,
Right.
another manufacturer did the embroidery. So
Ooh.
from production time, probably thinking 2 to 3 weeks to go out.
Man,
Yeah.
that's what you call collaborative, right?
Yeah.
That embodies collaborative.
But again, it's making sure that the quality lives up to the story behind the athletes, and we want to make sure that when we showing these types of pieces, that
Right.
is that time and effort that we putting into it. So
So let me ask a quick question. I know when we were trying to get some mood music for this little segment here, and you guys chose the song that's playing right now. Talk to me about how is the song relevant to this?
Yeah, well, so if you recognize that tune, it's Rude Boy Number from
Right.
legendary Cutty Ranks,
Right.
So you see, we have our men's sweatshirt right here.
Yeah.
The Rude, Boy.
Yeah.
And it's in a chemical element.
Yeah, I see that. Uh-huh.
And the numbers that
Right.
we used was 38, 45,
Yeah.
357. So if you're familiar with
With the
Cutty
song,
Ranks
yeah.
tune Rude Boy
Mhm.
Number, then you will get it. A lot of people don't catch it right
Yeah.
away or at all. And it's a bonus when I'm able to explain that to them.
Man, when I heard you guys talking about it in the background, I'm like, we definitely got to highlight those things. Even with the Maroon 5, you were explaining something. Talk to me about the details in that.
Yeah, so the original Maroon 5, of course, you all know about the band Maroon 5.
Right.
But the audacity of Adam Levine and them to
Yeah.
pick a name
Right.
that preceded them by centuries, where you have black people, formerly enslaved black people, who fought for their freedom, who ran away who sabotaged the colonizers. Yeah, man.
So the Maroon 5, I know Maroon 5, the band. They got the inspiration from this?
No, I don't know where they got their inspiration.
But that was a thing before Maroon 5 was out.
Well, the Maroons have been around since
I know the Maroons,
early 1700s. So
Right.
I'm saying to Adam Levine, you stepping on us.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? So this is my response to him by
Gotcha.
saying, here's a legacy of a people who fought
Nice.
the colonizers, ran away, sabotaged.
I really like this sweater, by the way. I
And
really
so
like the setup.
I
on
picked
this one.
5 famous Maroons. Queen
Yeah.
Nanny.
Uh-huh.
She's the only not female heroine out of Jamaica's 7 national heroes. You have Zumbi dos Palmares, who is the most famous Afro-Brazilian Maroon. You have Dottie Buckman. He was so unruly in Jamaica that they sent him to Haiti. He helped kick off the Haitian Revolution. Francois Mackendal preceded him in Haiti by 30 years. His knowledge of plants and herbs, he was poisoning the French and killing them.
Oh, nice.
And then you have Captain Cujo, who was also Queen Nanny's brother and one of the Maroon warriors.
Oh, wow. So that family had some rebels.
Yes, they did, yeah.
All right. So talk to me about that T-shirt right there.
So the bus up shot.
Yeah.
All right, if you're a curry lover, if you're from the Caribbean,
You know
you've
what?
heard of roti.
I just get the significance of the bus up shot.
Right,
see
yeah.
You pull apart.
Right.
So that's why we have the little holes
Right.
that.
So the bus up shot is the patois of a burst up shirt.
Yeah.
Right? And the idea that, the Indians, the indentured laborers who came to the Caribbean, places like Jamaica,
Right.
Trinidad, Guyana, they brought their cuisine with them, right?
Right.
So the idea of the roti, the wrapped,
Yeah.
flaky fried bread.
Yeah.
But then when they came to Trinidad, they decided to rip it up and bust it up.
Right.
And so they used the patois to say bust up shot. Now, this font has some significance too, right?
Oh.
Because in 2015, you had a designer who wanted to represent the graffiti he saw in northern India, a
Right.
province called Gujarat. Right, so he came up with a font and named it Sri Khan. Well, the irony is that the Indians in the Caribbean came from northern India. So I chose the Sri Khan font to represent the bus up shop.
Got it. So what I'm realizing here is that you guys are not just doing like designs for design's sake. Everything has a
Deliberate.
meaning, everything has some deliberation. And now I feel like when I wear this, I'm wearing it with purpose, right? It's
That's a
not
good
like
word.
just to look good, but I'm sending a message out. I'm giving a signal like I really, really, really like this, and I'm not just saying that because you guys are here. I have a thing that I say usually when I go in I'm going into any interview. I always kind of ask myself, what do you expect? Like I put myself, what can I expect? And I can say almost 90% of the time, my expectations has always been exceeded, right?
Nice.
And I think that's just strength to the quality of the people that we have in our communities. And I feel like every chance I get to speak about people like yourselves, who come here and just grace me with your presence and the great things that y'all are doing out there, I want to say congratulations.
Blessings.
Appreciate that.
I wish you guys much success. I know we're gonna definitely collaborate and work some more in the near future. So thank you for taking the time out and for being here. As you guys can see, there is definitely quality and messaging in everything that's here, and everything that's here is done with deliberation. So I want you guys to go out there, support the brand, the pop-up inside Savannah, February 23rd. It's a Sunday, so I know most of you guys will be home, right? Most of you guys will be home. February 23rd, Sunday, 12 to 6 p.m., right inside Savannah. It's going to be Third World Famous and Nine Culture. And what I'm wearing right here is my Nine Culture piece. Can you tell me a little bit about what I'm wearing?
Yeah, so what we're doing right now, we
Yeah.
lime in. So
We lime in.
this is our lime tee.
Yeah.
Lime tee just represents, hanging out with good vibes, good peoples, and everything in the back.
I'm saving this for summer.
For the greatness.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
back
I'm
home
saving
we
this
have
for
the
summer.
pui trees.
Yeah.
Pui trees come in pink and sometimes yellow, but it's hot back home, so we
Yeah.
liming under the tree. So this is the vibe.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you know what? Like I told you guys, I got a nice brand new pair of Asics in some beige and
Put the fit
brown
together.
colors. Ooh, brother. And I'm gonna check out some sweats too on the site to see
Respect.
if I can match it up everything nice at the pop up. I'm gonna try to get a fit.
Yeah,
But I'm really happy you guys took the time to come here, man. I
Thanks
love
for
it.
having us.
Everything is just legit, looks good, feels good. You can see the quality and the passion that went into it. So congratulations on running a successful outfit, and I wish you guys nothing but success and good vibes for
man.
2025.
Bless up, Kareem. Same to you.
And looking forward to the pop-up. Looking forward to the pop-up. So guys, once again, 2025, February 23rd, that's a Sunday, 12 to 6, Savannah. Y'all know that restaurant right here in Brooklyn, Natalie from Chic Famous. That's her spot.
Yep.
Pull up. It's gonna be food, it's gonna be drinks, it's gonna be music, and it's gonna be fashion and fashion in details with a purpose. All right?
Yes, sir.
So come out and support, and let's do it one more time. Tell them the Instagram where they can find you guys so they can follow you across all social media.
So at Third World Famous, that's the IG, that's the number 3RD World Famous, and the website is thirdworldfamous.com, same spelling. Number 3RD worldfamous.com.
Yep, and you can check us out on IG. It'll be at spell out 9 NINE_culture, and you can check us out on 9culture.com as well.
All right, guys, there you had it.
Represent your world.
Bop, bop, bop. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all know what it is, man. Good music, good times is where the culture lives.
Yes, sir.
GMGT, 9 Culture, Third World Famous. We out.